going to discuss about gate class electronic devices subject. This is under section 3. So section 3, the subject is electronic devices. Under electronic devices, we are going to discuss about energy bands in intrinsic and eccentric silicon, carrier transport, and diffusion current, drift current, mobility, resistivity. These everything we are going to discuss. This is in the gate syllabus. Correct. So here mostly the repeated gate problems from the topics, mostly they are asking from the energy band, drift current, diffusion current, mobility, resistivity, and then Fermi level. From that mostly they are asking. The remaining everything's are theory that also you have to know. That what about PN junction concept? These everything's are basic concept. Once if you read the concept means you will get the idea, not a issue. But the problems mostly they are asking from the energy band, diffusion current formula, drift current formula, mass action law, mobility, resistivity, all that everything are very selective things we have to know. Fermi level, all that everything's are important. All that problems also we are going to discuss in this. Okay. So first one is basic about normal things we have to know. So first one is atomic theory. So in atomic theory, first concept is one atomic structure we are considering. So atomic structure we already know. So in atomic structure, the center is a nucleus. Nucleus consists of two important things. So one is protons, another one is neutrons. Protons are positively charged, neutrons are no charged, that you know. And then electrons. Electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Okay, this one is for the carbon atom we are having. Okay, so this is a basic atomic theory. That is in an atom, what are the things are there? Electron, proton, and a neutron. Electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, neutrons are no charged. So this concept already you know, basic concept you have to know. And then in problems, sometimes we need some of the values, that is mass of neutron, mass of electron, mass of a proton. These are the things are required. So that is this one, that everything's are there. Okay. And then next one is that already I told you, right? In atom we are having three important things. That is electron, proton, and neutrons. Electrons are revolving around the nucleus, I told you, right? So number of electrons are there, as well as number of shells are there. That is, each shell consists of one particular specific format. Like formula is there, the formula is 2n square formula. Okay, so n is representing 2n square is the formula of the orbit. Orbit n equal to 1, first orbit means n equal to 1, first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, like that n number of orbits based on the atom we are having. So that orbit structure, orbit electrons, free electrons in orbit, that also consists of the specific format based on the formula we are having. That formula is this one, 2n squared. Fixed formula is there, 2n squared. N equal to first, that is n equal to 1, first orbit. First orbit, that is the first shell. First shell means n equal to 1. If you are substituting in the formula means you will get 2. That is 1 square, 1 into 2, 2 you will get it. And then n equal to 2. Okay, if you are considering n equal to 2, then the number of electrons, that is a second shell. Second shell, in that second shell, here n equal to 2 we are substituting. So n square, n into, that is 2 into 2, 4. Okay, and then 4 into 2, 8. So 8 electrons will be in the second shell. Like that, based on the atom, the format, that construction of the orbit electrons are there. So this is basic thing. Already you know. After that, ionic bonding and covalent bonding. So ionic bonding means sharing of electron between two atom. That is a pair of between a pair. If it is sharing the electron, after sharing it, both are getting the Stability means that is called the ionic bonding, NaCl. So after sharing the electron from Na to Cl, after that also the shells are getting fixed value, fixed electrons are there in the outer shell. Outer shell is called the valence electron, valence band. Okay, so that one we are going to discuss in the next one. So here this is after bonding, both Na as well as Cl getting the fixed electron in the outer shell, that is called the ionic bonding. So here sharing of electron between only two atom, that is ionic bonding. And similarly sharing of electron between more than two atom, that is called the covalent bonding. So here three atom we are considering, H2, two hydrogen atom and then one oxygen atom we are considering. So here sharing of electron between three atom, that one is called the covalent bonding. After bonding it is making the same, after creating the bonding it is making the same concept, stability it is making, means that one is called the covalent bonding. These everything are basic concept that most probably we already know. And then energy band. So energy band, energy gap concept is very very important concept, everyone should know. So energy gap, what is energy gap, that you have to know. Already I told you, in an atom it consists of three important things: electrons, protons and neutrons, right? So nucleus, center one is nucleus. Nucleus consists of neutrons and protons. After that outer shells consist of electrons, right? That outer shell, okay, outer shell, each one is called the, here we are considering is like a level. Okay, from the nucleus it consists of a number of levels, third level, second level, like that number of levels are there. Outermost level is called the valence level or valence band. So outermost one is called the valence band. Valence band to next band, that gap is called the energy gap, or a difference between one shell to another one shell is called the energy gap. Okay, so distance between one level with the other level or one shell with the other shell is called the energy gap. Okay, so here first one is this one is the concept is outermost cell is called the valence band, I told you, right? So that valence band with the previous band is called the conduction band. Okay, so previous band is called the conduction band. Distance between valence band to conduction band, the previous one is a conduction band. Outermost last shell is called the valence band. The electrons in the valence band is called the valence electron. Okay, so the distance between these two, the distance between these two is called the forbidden energy gap. This concept you should know. The important concept is forbidden energy gap. Distance between valence band and conduction band is called the forbidden energy gap. Okay, so that concept, these everything are basic things, so mostly we already know. Okay, now three types of materials generally we are having. So three types of materials, what are that? Insulator, semiconductor and conductor. So insulator means this won't conduct. If you are giving the electricity or whatever, if you are increasing the temperature, whatever it may be, during the time this won't conduct, that is called the insulator. And then semiconductor means half of the part it will conduct it, that is called the, that is called semi means partially conducting, that is called the semiconductor. And then conductor, so conductor means good conductor. So everything whatever is there, simply it will conduct, that is called, it is a good conductor, that is called the conductor. The conducting electricity, that is called a conductor. So here insulator, so in an insulator the energy gap is greater than 5 electric volt, that is distance between valence band and a conduction band is greater than 5 electric volt, that is called the insulator. So this is the first one, insulator. And then next one is semiconductor. For semiconductor, based on the material the energy gap will be there. This value for problems, mostly sometimes we are using, that is so many times they asked this value. The energy gap value for silicon you should know, as well as for germanium you should know. The first two values are important. While solving the problem, mostly they are asking this value. They are using this value. Clear? So semiconductor, for semiconductor the energy gap, so energy gap Eg equal to, for silicon material 1.1 electric volt, for germanium material it is 0.67 electric volt, for gallium arsenide it is 1.41 electric volt. These things are very important. While solving the problem it will be very useful. Okay, and then conductor means there is no restriction, simply it will conduct it like a metal. Okay, this is a material, three types of a material. And then for insulator the energy gap is more, energy gap will be there, so that is this one. For semiconductor the distance is small, energy gap will be there. Same thing conductor, for conductor there is no energy gap, fully it is conducting. Okay, that is the distance between conduction band and valence band is overlapping that two, that is called the conductor. Okay, now classification of a semiconductor. So under classification of a semiconductor we are having intrinsic semiconductor and eccentric semiconductor. So intrinsic semiconductor and eccentric semiconductor, like that two types are there. Intrinsic semiconductor means a pure semiconductor, we are not adding any material in the semiconductor, that is called the pure semiconductor, is called the intrinsic semiconductor. And then eccentric semiconductor, in eccentric semiconductor it again it is classified, eccentric means impure, not having pure one. While conduction, that is for the conduction we are adding some of the impurity with the intrinsic, that intrinsic material, in an intrinsic material if you are adding any impurity, that is called the eccentric semiconductor. Clear? In eccentric material we are having again two types, n type eccentric semiconductor, p type eccentric semiconductor, like that two types are there. Now first one is intrinsic semiconductor. In intrinsic semiconductor means I told you it is a pure semiconductor, we cannot add anything in the material. Both silicon and germanium both are having same concept, intrinsic semiconductor concept is there, we are not adding anything in this. Both are having the equal value of the four valence electrons, both are intrinsic semiconductor. Examples we are having silicon and germanium. Same thing. So here covalent bond creation. One atom with the other atom, how it is making the covalent bond. Both silicon and germanium both are having the four valence electron. The outer valence electron means what? Outermost band is called, the outermost shell is called the valence band. I told you, right? That valence band consists of only four electrons. So this is that structure, crystalline structure of germanium or silicon atom. Okay, how it is creating, how it is making the bonding with one atom with the other atom. So that is this one. So here due to electricity or due to heat, it is creating the conduction. For that conduction in one atom it is losing one electron. So losing one electron means it will create one hole in that place. That electron is moved into outer next atom or outer shell. So here what will happen, it is creating the hole. So this is called the hole, that it is losing the electron, right? That electron is called the free electron, it's moving into the some other atom. Okay, so here it is creating a hole, that is called the hole, breaking the hole, that is creating the hole, breaking the covalent bond. This is basic concept. Okay, and this is one of the concept is there. The concept is Fermi level is one of the important concept. So Fermi level is equal to EC plus EA, conduction band plus, that is here EC conduction band, and then EA acceptor energy level, conduction band energy level plus acceptor energy level divided by 2. This one is a Fermi level, EF. Okay, so EF is equal to EC plus EA divided by 2. So this is one of the concept is there. For intrinsic semiconductor, the Fermi level is equally divided. That is EF. EF is a Fermi level. Equal distance we are having from Fermi level to conduction band as well as to the valence band is there. That is called the equally it is a sharing. That is called the pure semiconductor Fermi level. Clear? So that is this concept for intrinsic semiconductor. One of the question they may ask, for intrinsic semiconductor what will be the Fermi level, mostly some they are asking. The Fermi level is equal to, that is the average of that two EC and EA or EV, like that also we can say. Okay, conduction band to valence band, that value divided by 2, that is EC divided by EC plus EV divided by 2, like that also we can write. Okay, so this is another one concept is there. The concept is total current. Total current is equal to whole current, holes current and electrons current. Electron movement is called the current, right? If the electron is moving means it's creating the current. Similarly, holes are moving means that is also creating the current. Okay, so here three atoms we are considering, A, B, C, like that three atoms are there. Initially A is having one hole. So what will happen due to the heat, the B atom is sending one electron, that electron to the A atom. So this will create one hole in B atom. So that is this one. In B atom we are having hole. So next time the C atom is sending that one electron to the next B atom. So what will happen in C atom? It will create one hole. Clear? Like that the electrons are also moving as well as holes are also moving. So the total current is equal to holes current plus electrons current. Now conventional current. So conventional current means what? Whatever path of electron flow is there, opposite to that one you have to consider for the conventional current. Always you already know. Always the conventional current is equal to the electron flow current, opposite to the electron flow current. That you have to consider. So electron is flowing in this direction. For example, electron is flowing in this direction means the corresponding conventional current will be in the opposite direction. Okay, so that is this one, general conventional current concept. So intrinsic semiconductor is over. Now eccentric semiconductor. So eccentric semiconductor, in eccentric semiconductor what will happen means same pure semiconductor we can consider, because eccentric means impure, not having the purity. So eccentric means same pure semiconductor you have to consider, plus some doping. You have to dope some impurity with the pure semiconductor. So the pure semiconductor it becomes the impure. That is called the doping. Okay, so that is called the eccentric semiconductor. When a semiconductor material is doped, then it is called as eccentric material. Clear? So in eccentric material we are having two important types. One is N-type semiconductor, another one is P-type semiconductor. So N-type semiconductor examples are very important. That one is arsenic, antimony, phosphorus. These three atoms are example for N-type semiconductor material. Everyone should know this example. Mostly in problems they are asking this concept. Compulsory problem based on this will be there. So N-type semiconductor examples are arsenic, antimony, phosphorus. This one you have to know. These three atoms are pentavalent impurities, because this one is ready to donate the electrons to the some other atom. If it is donating, penta means additional 5. So 5 means additional one more electron is available in the valence band. So that electron is ready to move from this atom to some other atom. That is called donor. Okay, it is ready to donate the electron to the some other atom. That is called the donor impurities. So here arsenic, antimony, phosphorus, these three atoms are example for the donor. Donor means what? Electrons. The electrons are majority carriers are there. So this concept you should know. Okay. So here arsenic we are considering. Arsenic is having 5 valence electron. 4 valence electrons are bonded with the germanium. One more additional electron is there. It is ready for the, it is ready to create a covalent bond with the other atom. So additional electron is there, that is called the additional impurity, that is called the donor electron. Clear? So electrons are majority carrier. So electrons are majority carrier means the next important diagram is this diagram, that is the Fermi level near to the conduction band is there, because electrons are more electrons are there compared to holes. Clear? So more electrons means it is creating a bonding, it is creating a, it is more bonding is there, so it is ready for, ready to donate the electron. So energy level of electron is more electrons are there. Because of that reason the Fermi level is moving towards the conduction band. Clear? Same concept in a reverse order we have to consider for the eccentric semiconductor. That is eccentric semiconductor p-type material. This is n-type, right? N-type means electrons are majority carrier. So 5 electrons are there, one more electron simply it is there. So the Fermi level moving towards the conduction band. Same concept in p-type material. What you have to consider, hole will be there. So holes are there, additional one more hole is there. In a valence band one hole will be there, that hole is ready to accept the electron. Okay, so holes are always accepting the electron. So what will happen here, holes are majority carrier we are having, so Fermi level moving towards the valence band. So that important concept you have to know. So that is this one. Clear? Just opposite to p-type material here we are considering, just opposite to n-type material we are considering in p-type. Okay, so here n-type material conduction. So n-type material conduction, n-type material means electrons are majority carrier, holes are minority carrier. So positive terminal is connected with one terminal of n-type material, and the negative is connected with the other terminal of the n-type material. Clear? So electrons are majority carrier. So here plus terminal is there. So plus is simply attracting all the negative electrons. So more electrons are flowing in this direction. Holes are attracted by the negative terminal of the battery. So minus is connected with the other end. So other end consists of the holes. The holes are attracted by the negative terminal. So what will happen? Current it will create. So current flow just opposite to the electron flow will be there. That is called the conventional current. Same concept you have to consider for the p-type material also. For p-type material, electrons are minority carrier, holes are majority carrier. So plus means only few electrons, or very few electrons, minority carrier electrons are attracted by the plus terminal, and then all the holes are positively charged, right? All the positively charged holes are attracted by the negative battery. So more holes will be there, it is creating the more current flow in the, just same as that of a previous. Electron flow will be in one direction means just opposite to electron flow, very small current will also flow, because minority carrier electrons are there. So very the flow of electron will be a very less one. So conduction of a conventional current also very less value of a current it will create, just opposite to that one. Okay, so this is about the intrinsic semiconductor and eccentric semiconductor. Okay, so intrinsic semiconductor and then eccentric semiconductor, that types, and then Fermi level concept, that also very important thing we are having, you should know. It's very important concept. Okay, after that most probably in all the cases we are considering the germanium, that is a silicon material we are considering, germanium we are not considering. Why? What is the reason? Okay, both are having same 4 valence electron, both that is valence band consists of same 4 valence electron, but in so many places mostly we are considering the silicon. Why we are not using germanium? Okay, the reason is how many shells we are having in germanium and silicon, that is a thing we are having. In silicon the shells, that is orbits, the shells are only 3 shells are there, but in germanium it consists of 4 shells. So 4 shells means a distance from that nucleus to outermost orbit, that distance is increasing in germanium. At the same time in silicon, very, that is compared to germanium, in silicon the distance is only less distance we are having. So that is one of the advantage we are having. So because of that reason, the distance is a very less distance we are having, right, in silicon. Because of that reason, mostly we are preferring the silicon compared to germanium. Both are having the same 4 valence electron, but the concept is, this is the concept. Only 3 shells we are having in silicon, but in germanium we are having 4 shells. Each cell consists of electrons. Okay, but outermost cell, in both cases outermost cell is consists of only 4 valence electron. That is not an issue. But the distance, so distance is less in silicon. Because of that reason, mostly we are using the silicon for fabrication and all. Okay, so this is one of the concept is there. After that, mass action law. So mass action law concept is very important formula. Based on this, mostly they are asking the questions. So the concept is n into p equal to ni square. What is this n? What is this p? What is this ni square? So mass action law defines n into p equal to ni square. What is this means? N is small n is representing the free electron concentration, number of free electrons in a material. So that is a free electron concentration is a small n. P represents the whole number of holes present in the material. That is called the hole concentration. Now intrinsic concentration, material intrinsic concentration ni. Okay, that is ni. Ni is equal to, ni square is equal to n into p. This is the concept we are having. Okay, one second.